67% of employees have admitted in the last year that their password is the word password. Like,
Why are you telling all the scammers out there?
Have you ever seen anything like this? My phone is off, and I'm just gonna click read, and there you go. It's a debit card tied to my Google Wallet.
Wow.
It was locked, and I was able to capture that detail.
What on earth is this thing?
With this device, I can kick you off your network. A 9-year-old kid's been playing Roblox, and a dude's just turned up to his house.
What the hell?
And the woman's like, hang on a minute, how did you know my address? How do you know my son?
Yeah.
And he wants to come in.
And of course, it's not the child's fault, and in this case, completely the parents' fault. They won't oblivious to what the child is even doing. The children have no filter naturally.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters, and welcome to this Islam 20 podcast. For a few months now, maybe years, a particular brother has been contacting me with cybersecurity advice and trying to, hack Islam 21C in a good way. And I thought, you know what, this is so useful, all this kind of stuff. We need to have him on a podcast. So we've got him. He's an ethical hacker and a cybersecurity expert, along with his colleague. We have none other than Junaid and Saad. Assalamu alaikum. So what does an ethical hacker do? I want to get through a lot of stuff here, which is important for Muslims to know about online, cybersecurity, safety, organizations, families, kids in particular. Saad, I heard you're an expert in that, not in kids, but safety.
Safety.
Moving on, safety.
Safety first.
Yeah. And you also know, you told me, Junaid, that in the last few months, in particular, attacks have been going up, cybersecurity attacks and threats, and linked to obviously Palestine activism and Israel, quote unquote Israel, the Zionist entity has been doing a lot of cyber attacks, and that's like a battlefront now in the 21st century. So, what does an ethical hacker do? And what are the things that we need to know about?
Subhanallah, an ethical hacker. How do I explain this one? What's your view of an ethical hacker? What do you understand when you hear the term?
So I think
hacker?
An ethical hacker is like that film V for Vendetta. No, just kidding. So someone who tries to test out systems, to hack them.
So it's exactly that. So when we hear the word hacker, we automatically assume a guy with a hood, has no life, stays at home, has a massive computer set up with a private server and all these colourful lights and gadgets and whatnot. It's nothing like that. Literally, it's just a posh word of a penetration tester or someone who checks the vulnerability of a system. I go out slightly a bit further than my remit. I go into social engineering, which is part and parcel of cybersecurity. So when it comes to ethical hacking and penetration testing, it's sort of like, in your house, when you enter the front door, what's the first thing you do? You switch the lights on, or in the evening like this, you switch the lights on. Now you might have two buttons.
You say, hey house, lights on. Hey Jarvis.
You can, yeah. If you're Tony Stark. And anyway, so you have one switch, and you might have two switches in the same room. So I'll want to check what they both do when you press them together, or what they both do in sequence, or etc. And it can trip the electric. If it trips the electric, then you've got a vulnerability.
Okay.
So I'll have to report that. So when I go into businesses, I discuss the level of work involved and what they agree to. So it can be as simple as creating a phishing email, phishing within as in PH. We've all received those emails from our Nigerian princes saying we have 30 million kawachas.
Well, you got that too.
I thought it
was just my uncle.
So luckily, we would have got these on our Hotmail accounts back in 2005 and onwards, etc. When they first started happening. Believe it or not, did anyone ever wonder how they actually got your email address? It would have been that your email address was registered into something, into a company, etc. And when these companies were disposing of their hard drives, back then the computers came in massive towers. They were going to landfills in Africa. And so what these people in Africa were doing was they were trying to take apart these things, plugging them in, seeing what's working, and lo and behold, they've got vast amounts of data, access to vast amounts of data, sensitive data, and so these scams started coming about. So the first ever...
They didn't shift delete.
No, control alt delete, no. So yeah, this is the first...
I get so many calls, like every day almost, I get a call from some random... And it's clearly, obviously, like AI generated voices. Like, not even nice, not even like well done voices. Yeah. It's just like, hey, is that Salman?
Yeah.
Then silence.
Yeah. Hello, are you still there? Yeah, that type of thing.
The text to prompt, isn't it? Text to prompt. There's a new number of websites out there that people use that you write the text.
So my phone number is somewhere, floating around.
It would have been compromised because you would have registered your phone number with a particular website or a particular company, and they would have had a data breach, and they've not made you aware, which they should have done. And because of that, someone else out there has access to your data. Or you may have clicked that tiny box at the bottom that you give consent to give third-party access to your information, which is particularly giving the company permission to sell your data to another company, and this is why we should really read the boxes at the bottom.
But I read somewhere that if you actually read all the stuff we click agree to, we'd still be, we'd still haven't opened up our Hotmail account from back in the day, or Yahoo.
Universe would end before we could read all of it.
Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? They're constructed in such a manner that you end up just saying, you know what, just scroll down and click accept.
Yeah. Pages and pages. So you go into companies and test out their vulnerabilities.
Vulnerability. So I can create a phishing email where I'll send the company staff, employees, emails, hoping that someone would click on it. And when they click on it, that would potentially compromise the systems. So I'll have to write a report that, bring it back to the boss of the employee, of the employers, and say to them, look, such and so did this. I'll leave USBs.
Snitch.
A paid snitch. Paid snitch. I'd leave USBs.
I do agree with you that snitching for free is worse.
If you're good at something, never do it for free. As the Joker once said.
Saad can elaborate more on snitching, inshallah. Saad's a former employee of the government.
Oh, okay. Mashallah.
I should say
former.
With
Please capitalize former. I do not associate myself with Keir Starmer.
Allah. So like, for example, you may have left your building, you've come out of work, you've gone to your car, and on the way to your car in the car park, you found a USB on the floor. Yep. You pick that up. Now, if your company is provided the relevant training, you shouldn't plug that USB in. Number two, your company should not even allow USBs being able to connect on your hard drive if you're not utilizing them. So if you were to go back to your computer to plug that in to see who it belongs to, because naturally you want to return it to the rightful owner, it may have some sensitive data, etc.
That would be the good citizen thing to do.
But by doing so, you've unintentionally compromised your entire infrastructure. Because
So you're the one who put that USB there?
In agreement with the employer. So not to harm your systems, but to ensure how far I can go by manipulating your employees, etc.
Just to embarrass that one guy.
Hopefully he doesn't get sacked for making these bad decisions. But it's paramount that employees do their utmost best and adhere to the training provided to them to ensure the safety of the company and safety of what they deal with, evidently.
So you got a bunch of toys here for us to look at, some props. Saad, in this lovely office, Saad was like just putting some other props on it. And for some reason there's an A to Z here. And I thought, what's the theme here? Are these all of the things that like the internet killed? Pens,
well, actually, it works out quite well, doesn't it? Eventually, I remember my dad used to use these in the car still driving.
These are really
no sat nav. It can't be hacked.
They're really important for ensuring fights between couples.
Between couples,
The OGs use these. I don't think anyone can survive working out. Navigating through an A to Z right now.
Exactly.
But that might be worth something, because I remember one of our brothers, contributors, Abdullah Thompson, shout out. He said when he moved to a place, he actually really look hard to find one, because the lady in the petrol station said no, someone just one day came and took them all away.
Really?
Maybe
Wow.
Google are paying people to make these obsolete or something.
So this is an updated map since 1936. So
it's got all of the Woolworths and the blockbuster videos in there as well.
to go for a drive back in time.
Yeah.
So the props. So I'll
So
start.
start before we jump into this juicy stuff.
Go on.
It looks like it's flipping calling some
ET call home.
before the spaceship lands on the roof. We want to just talk about what you do.
Yeah.
While you're holding the mic like a G, if you want.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
Nobody's done
Spit
that.
into the mic. Spit bars. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So my background is as Junaid mentioned, within the
Snitch.
government, public sector.
Oh, public sector.
Civil servant. And also in private IT. So a lot of my work used to relate to IT support. More recently, it's related to cybercrime. So that was sort of my area of profession. My academic background is more to do with cybersecurity, digital forensics, and also parts of behavioral security. So as Junaid mentioned, to do with in terms of social engineering and the human behavior side of things, analyzing parts of that as well, and how people react to certain situations, especially when cyber is involved. So amongst the perspectives I found often was that the Muslim community, unfortunately, is very much still behind with the times as to what is going on in the UK, in the modern world, in terms of cyber threats and cyber safety. And so that was one of my sort of the objectives of my profession, was to ensure cyber safety, not just amongst Muslims, but I often found there was a common sort of factor amongst Muslims that they were, I don't want to say more gullible because it makes us sound like we're weak or we're inferior or something, but there was a tendency to be a bit more fall into a trap, whereas others might not be as much. And unfortunately, especially amongst the older generation of Muslims, where they've not really made an effort to keep up. So it's very unfortunate. I mean, I remember, maybe you remember as well, Dr. Saman and Junaid, maybe about a year ago, perhaps less, there was this WhatsApp scam going around.
Yes.
It's quite big in Manchester. I don't know about London.
I think someone you sent me one. You wanted to borrow 300
£50,000.
He said, I only met Salman once, and I think he messaged me saying, Junaid, it's been a long time since we've spoken. I'm just around the corner from you, but a very embarrassing thing has happened to me. I need to borrow £300, and here's my bank details. And
but I did say don't tell anyone. So
especially
I'm gonna have to edit that out
on the camera.
These messages were happening. I remember happening to someone very close to me, and this person is quite well off. So everyone who received that message automatically assumed something really bad has happened, and they started sending him money. But it didn't go to him.
Went to. Now's your chance to unveil the mastermind. This was an ethical scam. I'm teaching you.
About the groups, I remember looking at a few cases that had come in through reports from the public, and it was related to like Hajj and Umrah groups, and even Masajid group, actually mosque groups, where a lot of them were like, they were like especially this was like in summertime, so it's not far from the Hajj season, you could say, last year. And you got people who have paid tens of thousands of pounds to go to Hajj, and now falling into this trap of, you need to join the Zoom meeting immediately because we need to discuss Hajj matters. And then, of course, they give the code, their WhatsApp gets taken over, and now the people are asking for £300, £400. Often called Junaid Ali.
Just to go into that, how it happens is you'll get a phone call, and you'll get a phone call on WhatsApp, or even your actual normal phone. Yeah. And they'll say, Assalamu alaikum, how are you? Blah, 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 blah. Right. Why are you not on the Zoom call? And you're thinking, what Zoom call? And like, the Zoom call for Hajj is going on right now. You're missing everything. So automatically you're in a rush.
Yeah, urgency.
They've created this urgency. they've created this urgency out of nowhere. So now they've tricked your mind, and now you're going to make a decision very, very quickly.
Yeah, and
say, right, we're sending you the code. Just read the code out to me. I'll send you the link quickly.
Yeah.
And you get a text message, and you don't read it because we tend to have notifications, and we don't read the message fully.
Yeah.
So the code comes, and you read the code out. Once you've read the code out, that's all they need. Just you reading it out and not giving it to them. That's all they need. As soon as they input that, what they've gone and done is they've registered your WhatsApp on their phone or on another device.
Number they control.
And once they've done that, they have access to all your contacts.
And this is what I mean by sort of the human behavior. You know, it creates that level of urgency. Anything urgent, important topic to you, generally, they'll do their research. I mean, scammers generally tend to. They know, okay, it's a Muslim community. They're going to use greetings like Assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum salam, Jazakallah khair, these type of things. It's very easy to pronounce, generally, if you know how to pronounce it. A lot of these.
Or you can listen to drill music.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Inshallah, mashallah. Yeah, so they would have.
It'd be hard if it was mumble rap.
They try and play on that behavior, right? And this is one of the key part of any scam, is that they, and I think it used to be a show. I don't know if you guys remember. It was like maybe BBC Three, 10, maybe 15 years ago.
What was it called?
Wow, yeah, it was
Blue Peter.
No. It was when these like 3 or 4 like con artists, like professional con artists.
It was Channel 4.
It was
BBC. It was BBC, yes.
It was BBC,
I remember, yes.
and they used to go to like airports, public areas, whatever, right? And they'd be like, can you
And then they used to have this massive phone and be like, hello, I'm
that was Dom Johnny. That was the phone jack, yeah.
They'd like give their bag over to someone,
calling
right?
from the bank.
And they'd be like, yeah.
What about downgrading?
I'm afraid we have a pigeon in your bank account, sir.
Have you seen the one with when he tries to get the car sale to the dealer?
Terry tips, mate.
Yeah.
Terry tips.
Talk to me.
So they play on the emotions of the unsuspecting public, right? Here, I've given you a bag. I need to go. I need to, my daughter's in the toilet or something. She's stuck, and I need to go. Whatever. Or I need to go take care of my baby in the changing room. Can you just hold on to my bag for a bit? And then suddenly someone might come along and say, whose bag is this? Or like a porter might come and say, can I take these bags, or whatever? Bags taken. There's like £500,000 in there, whatever. And they've lost it or something like that. This is the opposite scenario, and in the process, this person, they've lost some money. So again, it's all about creating that urgency and that
kind of bypasses your rational thinking.
Exactly.
Like,
you're jumping straight to human emotion.
So, in terms of a lesson for people, would you say anything that gives any message that you get or a call that gives you a sense of urgency, just stop and think? Or what's your advice?
Look, I'll give the advice. If I'm sure people nowadays get messages saying, "Oh, we've missed you," Royal Mail tracking, and you'd think, "Well, why have we got a parcel to miss?" etc. DPD messages, payments going out. Like PayPal messages saying, "Oh, you've made a payment for so and so. If you didn't make this payment, click on this link." Just before you think, "Damn, I've taken that money," because they pry on people. Like hackers and these scammers and everything. They're not racist. They don't pick who they want. They go for everyone. You know what I mean? So it's whoever clicks, whoever responds. They'll send out 1,000 messages, and they're hoping 1 out of 100 responds back, and that's it for them. If 10 people respond back, they've got a cash in for the day. So how to stay safe? Number 1, just stop. Just stop and just think for a second. Okay, don't click on the link. Go to the actual application of that message where it's come from. So if it's a DPD message, Royal Mail, etc., go to their website, get the proper number, contact them, and follow it through that way. Do not access anything through that message. It is very likely that it has a malicious link with it, whether to pick up your IP address, pick up your geolocation, pick up, or even grant it access to the point that it can harvest things from your phone. Where they can capture things from your phone and send signals, etc. With the WhatsApp thing, if you go into your settings, set up the two-factor authentication, so that you do need the code, you do need a password. You can even go even deeper. Like I have it to the point where, when you send YouTube links, it has a thumbnail. I can't see thumbnails because that thumbnail can have an attachment in it. So everything's blocked for me.
And I think if it's from a person, you know, don't trust anything you get. Oftentimes we'd get reports related to people asking for someone's phone number or someone's detail that realistically the person calling you would already know that information about you. So, for example, why?
What's mum's maiden name again?
Exactly. It'd be like your uncle's asking for your phone number. You know, it doesn't make sense. You clearly he's calling you on the right number or something that he would already know about you, right? So in that sense, you just think, am I really, you know, doing the right thing here? Why would this matter? And if it's a sudden change in circumstance as well, for example, you've met this person, you know, let's say multiple times over the course of the last week, and suddenly now they're messaging you saying, I'm in hospital, I need £200.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on, I met you 3 days ago, nothing about anything there. So of course things can change for actual people, but double check. You're getting a call from a random number. Call them on an actual number you know. Call their family member. Call their sister, their brother, etc.
Just take that extra precaution.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean, like, I understand the shyness and embarrassment context behind that. That someone may feel more confident to approach you to seek help or financial means, help through financial means. But again, for their safety and for your own safety, just check up with one of the family members, someone else who knows them. That just check if it's legit. I'm not saying that the person requesting it isn't legit, but it could be someone impersonating them. Yeah. Can be.
Also, don't feel. I would say to people, don't feel embarrassed that if you've been scammed, tell someone because there is help available, right? My cousin actually works for an organization that gets people reimbursements for compensation for money they've lost via scams and stuff. So
I think people would be surprised to hear that the banks are actually obliged to refund you.
Wow.
To some level, if you've been scammed. I mean, you can look at the sort of the threshold online. But it requires an active level of
get scammed just to do that.
Just and it does require.
That can be for the next episode.
And don't be lazy.
On
really,
our private jet, going to see Uncle
Junaid. Uncle Junaid Ali.
George Aguduengo. Gonna go get them kawachas. Look, off the back of what he was saying, definitely, you can get reimbursements from the bank itself, but they too, because they're FSC regulated, they too will do their bit trying to not give it to you. Do you know what I mean? Blocking it, they do have their own algorithms and systems, softwares in place that any transactions that's out of character, any transactions that you normally wouldn't make, they now start sending you pings on your phone to unlock it and accept it and do it that way.
I got a text today actually saying I won £750.
Inshallah.
I said there's been 3 winners and the first one was my number.
Wow.
I was like, how lucky is that?
Inshallah. Food's on you. Food's on him then.
I didn't press the link though. But just pressing a link.
Yes.
What does that even do though? Isn't that just going to a website?
Yeah.
So you mentioned, should I go into the topic of
I'll show you.
Pegasus and Titan?
I think for us, of course, people often think because they've not lost any money, no harm's been done. Yeah. This is a common misconception. Yeah. The harm that's done is more long-standing harm, in the sense that your data's now been taken.
Even just by going to a link. So look, here's a message, right? And that first number happens to be my number.
Yeah. Did you end up clicking that link?
No.
Yeah, okay. So that link probably has some sort of script on the back end of it.
Okay.
Which
to me in my head, this is a link is just like a website, right?
This looks like it's from postcode lottery.
Really?
No, it's not. You know, from the looks of it, straight away, they've made you excited. They want to get you excited, so you're in a state of happiness.
Yeah.
Straight away, they want the next thing that they do. They've provided you a link.
Yeah.
There's no number for you to contact. There's no website for you to go to. It's just a link straight away.
If I click that, what will happen?
This part of me wants to know. Well, I mean, so one part of what Junaid would potentially do if a company received that, for example,
I feel like clicking it.
Is he'd click that in a controlled environment, not in the middle of this.
Shall we do that?
I wish
What
I
is
had
a
my laptop
control?
with
What
me.
is a controlled environment
A
mean?
control environment would be I'd have my laptop with me.
Yeah.
I'd open my laptop within a laptop.
Okay.
Yeah, so,
I know what that means.
So like a virtual machine. I'd have a virtual
All right,
machine.
yeah.
So anything that happens can only affect that virtual machine. It won't affect my laptop.
It's like a sandbox environment.
Yeah,
You're
so
only
it's
doing
a
it.
sand- that's what it's exactly
and
called,
you
sandbox.
you can hack the hackers.
Potentially,
The scammers.
and
Scammers.
they can hack me too,
Yeah.
depending on how good they are.
So you have a hacking match.
So the hacking battle, keyboard battle,
Hacking battle. Okay. Back in
and,
those
and
90s,
loads of
action
loads of
movies.
screenshots.
Yeah.
So with that, I'll do it in a sandbox environment, as Saad said.
Okay.
And I'd check what it is. It could be a malware. It could be something to basically, off the back end, create a server or a file system that's just extracting information from you.
So Apple, iPhone or Android or the operating system, does it just let you open stuff that will harm it, or does it have some filters as well that
The filters are very rudimentary.
yeah.
I mean, sometimes what it might say, for example, is like Google. If you open something in the browser, it might say this website might have potentially harmful things on it. Do you
It
still
says
want
that for
something to
Islam 20 sometimes. Someone sent me a thing
I think
that
that's a propaganda from
Yeah.
from higher up,
to
maybe.
update his TLS certificates and his.
No, they
the
said
cookies.
when I'm at work, when I log on, it's like
Oh,
you know,
yeah. So work often like
Because of-
organizations have their own like list of the
Filters.
blocked like
Islamophobia.
sites.
Yeah.
So Islam 21C will be on there. Like I used to try and go on like mini clip at my work, and it's like it wouldn't work.
Many clip, man. You're taking me back now.
Yeah.
a little computer game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
try to play a video game at lunchtime, it doesn't work. Or even if you go to generally like innocent site, like any sort of entertainment site, for example, IGN or these type of media sites, entertainment sites, it wouldn't let you. It would block it.
Okay.
But I think
Can we change entertainment to gaming sites?
gaming sites, yeah.
It's better.
I think one thing I do want to emphasize is that something like what you've been sent. Of course, alhamdulillah, generally like most people are caught up enough who use technology are caught up enough to not get duped by something like that. It's fairly obvious. There's two aspects to it though. One is the ability to identify something is getting really tough now. Not from that angle. I mean from the angle of someone calling you, for example.
I mean, this is just like
It's very rudimentary.
lazy.
Yeah, it's very
I'm like,
very simple.
surely you must have some scams that you come across where you're like, you know what?
Yeah,
That's a good
this is
scam.
very close.
You know,
It's
that's
very
It's
close.
happened
Yeah,
to me.
yeah.
It's happened to me, and
You just feel like giving them a round of applause. And
Yeah.
like, you know what,
Yeah.
that good.
because they
Nice
put
one,
guys.
there.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what it is? With that, every person has the ego.
Yeah.
So every hacker, every guy who creates these scams, like for example, you might go to the airport and log into the Wi-Fi,
Yeah.
and it's a Google login page. Automatically, you're going to start putting your Google details in. But whilst you've done that, you know you've put your password in correctly, but it's saying password wrong, no matter how many times you do it. And all that is doing is there's someone probably in the airport sitting there with their laptop on who's created that Wi-Fi portal, and they're just capturing your username and password. So you've given them access to it now.
Ah.
And you're likely to go on holiday. So they'll have a lot of time to break this now without having any interruptions from you, the user, getting any pings on your phone because you're 10,000 feet in the sky. Now, that message being sent, you and I, if we got this, every other day people get this, excuse me, they're very likely to just brush it to the side, delete it, they know straight away.
Yeah.
But the vast majority of the public are more closer to being poor than being rich. And sadly, there are people out there who are extremely
deprived,
vulnerable
Yeah.
and underprivileged and struggling month to month.
Yeah.
They might see that message and they just might be needing that bit of
Convinced
extra bit of
enough,
money, and they'll click on it and they'll get exploited.
And that's a sort of second aspect of something I wanted to highlight, which was that it's for these people it becomes a sunken cost fallacy thing, where I know of a situation, for example, where this elderly sort of non-Muslim lady was sent these letters, and this is public on the news that you can find out about this story. She was sent these letters by sort of these companies trying to sort of, and to anyone, and even to her family, it's very obvious these are scams, right? But because potentially she was deprived for that attention, that family connection, whatever, she fell into these frauds. And to this day, she holds those letters very dearly, and she keeps getting more and more of them. And she's got a massive collection at home to the point where she's basically a hoarder. And it's very unfortunate because it's that sunken cost fallacy. She's been hooked onto something almost like a drug for her, and it's just gone further and further and further because she's just that deprived of a human connection.
And it's you're more likely to give more money once you've been scammed.
Yes,
exactly. Yes, yeah.
I know someone who
to the same scammer.
To the same scammer. Romance fraud often works like this.
I know someone who's very close to me, a family member, who was struggling financially, and they were trying to get a loan to get out of that financial difficulty they were in. They ended up finding some website that will let them have a loan. They ended up speaking to someone on the phone, and they said they've been accepted for the loan, but they need to pay £150 for the credit check. Now, they weren't aware of this whatsoever, or how it works and how these loans things work, etc. Because they've never had good credit, they've never got a loan from the bank, they've never understood that you have to pay to get something back. It's not normal. So they paid the 150. Upon doing so, they led them on again for another half an hour, and then they started requesting more money, saying, you know what, you want this loan for £10,000, you're going to have to give an extra 250, something come up on the system, and blah, blah, blah. They carried on this trait until this person was borrowing money from other family members and extended family members, that they nearly lost £1,000 and giving it away willingly by bank transfer. By bank transfer, they had to download the Western Union app and other things, etc. And I felt really sad for them. I felt really sad, and I was really angry for them because they were only trying to get themselves out of a situation. And these nefarious people, I'd like to use more colourful language, but I have to be filtered. Maybe you can beep them up with Hadoukens. These very people do not care about the situation you're in. They have zero emotions. They do not care. To them, they're simply just getting paid.
Yeah.
They go to bed at night having zero remorse.
Do they tend to be from places like India and Nigeria, or is that just kind of
100% India,
stereotypes?
India, Sri Lanka, the Philippines. It's been more recently the Philippines, but India. It started off in India. In India, there's YouTube videos out there you can watch.
Yeah.
There's guys out there who make it their life goal to take on these guys, and I absolutely admire them.
I've seen a few, like, even it's like a whole genre on YouTube now, like hacking into scammers, call centers and stuff like that.
And these call centers are massive, man.
Yeah,
it's not just one floor. They'll have a 20-story building, and it's there, and these guys will come in, and they're all working, and they have people there doing paid roles, working at 9 to 5, at 2 till 10, or at 6 in the morning till 2, and they're on a rota, and they're getting paid for the job just to scam people, and the people that are doing the jobs, they genuinely believe they're doing a legitimate job.
Yeah.
It's madness, absolute madness.
Yeah.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I just need a few seconds of your time to tell you about our new campaigns that require your attention. Become one of 1,000 guardians who will defend the Ummah, safeguard minds, strengthen faith, and uphold the truth through our new transformative campaigns. Number 1, Palestine Truth. Exposing lies, amplifying Palestine voices, and countering false Zionist narratives. Number 2, Guarding Innocence. Countering godless ideologies, ensuring our children grow up proud of their faith, values, and identity. Number 3, Power of a Muslim Woman. Opposing individualism, avid materialism, and social decay by showcasing our homemakers and mothers as the true builders of civilization. And number 4, Hold On. Saving lives by providing support for those battling hopelessness and suicidal thoughts. For just £10 a month, you will be part of a mission that aims to impact 500 million lives, inshallah. Do not miss out on the huge reward. Click the link in the description below and donate. And there are other state actors as well now in when it comes to, so you mentioned like Zionists and cyber warfare and all that kind of stuff.
So I think one thing for people to be aware about in the current political climate, is activism online. And I would say don't not do it, but be very cautious about how you do it. So a lot of the times what certain state actors will do, and they're not necessarily tied to the state, they might just be proponents of the state or propaganda types.
Are you snitching on the snitches now?
Yes, exactly. So they'll often snitch by just doing tags, right? Like tagging the police force or tagging the whatever, right? Especially here, you see it online and not at Met Police, at GMP, at wherever else, right? At West Midlands. And so, of course, these forces will have, to some level, monitoring of social media, right? That much is obvious. I think what is important for people just to keep in mind very briefly is not to have anything that has anything connected, like anything personal connected to that account. So that if any follow-ups are done or people are tagging you, because oftentimes people have their profession in their biography, or they'll have their personal name attached to their account, or they'll have their date of birth. Or
what do you mean that not?
As in, it's an account where you feel like you can post things, but it's not connected to your private life at all. It's
so like using a fake name,
like a fake name or alter ego, or at the very least, if you have to have a public personality to be able to do what you do in terms of activism, then not keeping the data behind that account, for example, the Wi-Fi network you're using off the account, it's not your home network. Make sure that's not the case.
How do you do that? Like, how does
go to McDonald's and use the public Wi-Fi, for example?
You're gonna send people down a rabbit hole now. So,
so I think.
Okay, so there's this thing of like risk appetite, right?
Appetite, yes,
and
exactly.
Risk profile.
Exactly.
If you're like Edward Snowden and there's people
Exactly,
after you,
yeah.
then you're gonna be the more safe you want to be,
yes,
the more inconvenient it is.
Yes,
and the
exactly.
more convenience you want, the less kind of
100%. The more risk you're at.
Yeah.
The more risk you're at,
And
and whatever you
so
say.
most people, they're not going to be that
No.
level. Like there's
No.
like governments after them and they're hiding
Exactly.
or whatever in Russia.
Yeah.
But for the average person, give some advice,
Yeah.
in terms of, because we want to encourage people to still be active online,
Yeah.
and because the Gaza genocide has
Yeah.
shown us that the average person has so much power
Of course.
to make something too loud to ignore,
Yes.
right? And to spread stuff, and we don't want to kind of scare people off
Of course.
social
100%.
media.
Yeah.
I mean, I was before the genocide ramped up. I was like, everyone should just get off social media. You shouldn't be on there anyway.
Yeah.
But now I feel like because that's the only way
Mm.
people can get information about what's happening.
Yeah.
Because there's been like a wholesale, obviously, like abdication of duty by mainstream media and legacy media and so forth. We need to. The average person needs to, make the truth go viral, make information go viral, and so forth.
Yeah.
So, whilst being online and
Active.
sharing, posts, kind of the voices of Gaza, the voice of people, on the ground everywhere, there's oppression and so forth. How do we stay safe like that?
I think for me the two main things are really engagement for any social media platform, and this is unrelated to cybersecurity. It's more related to how the algorithms work. Something that has 10,000 posts versus 1,000, of course, is going to get more traction in someone's algorithm. So liking the post is not necessarily a crime to do that, right? It's not something illegal. Of course, this is not legal advice. So, in addition to that, the use of a VPN is really important. I mean, Junaid can go in more how that works, but
just to, it's exactly the remedy is exactly what you said. Is that before you were anti-social media and now you're pro. Is the more people that do speak out, the more people that thingy, how much more are they going to penalize people for?
exactly, yeah.
So before it was, the whole point of the system is to create a platform that people feel slightly uneasy or discouraging them to post something. I mean, I have a habit where you've probably seen my Facebook. I've probably posted something about a month ago, but I very rarely comment. I very rarely post anything. It's not that because I'm not active. I'm very active. I look at everything. I'm reading my feeds, but I have this habit of not engaging with certain people, certain thingy, etc. Because I just feel like there's no point. It's a waste of time. As you get into debates in comment sections, etc., and things like that, I do read comments. I do see people. Just like we have people actively looking at pro-Zionist people and pro-Islamophobic people who are like thingy. Their screenshots, their profile pictures is being screenshotted. Their workplaces are being contacted, and so on, so etc. They do the same to us, and there's a lot more of them. There is a lot more of them that do it to us.
Yeah.
Just like we all have the odd white person we grew up with or everything like that. but they'll happily post an Asian guy from a grooming gang scandal or has been arrested for grooming, etc.
Yeah.
But they will very rarely post anyone if it's from their
Community.
background or their community. But when we do it, we'll share both. Why? Because they need to get penalized. Religion has nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
But they don't see that. They see it as a religious thing. So same way, they'll always feel that way towards us, but the more of us that we carry on and keep doing, the less they can silence. And so, as they say, the people is the power, isn't it? VPNs, I'd recommend, out of all of them out there, a VPN is basically something that hides your IP address.
A virtual Pakistani network.
You could say that.
In,
It's a proxy network, very, very close.
Okay.
Yeah. What it does is...
you can tell them you're in a different country.
We could be logging
Pakistan.
in from anywhere in the United Kingdom, and we can make it out like we're logging in from anywhere around the world. Now, the only one that I could recommend, and I should have got sponsorship deals for this, is NordVPN.
Okay, that's the one I use.
NordVPN is the only one that hasn't been pulled up to provide information on its users and provide their data, etc., to any government body around the world. Every single other one that I know that is out there on the mainstream market on the online, they have all been subjected to providing data to either the American government, United Kingdom, European government. So your data's evidently, you're not really using a VPN. They always have information on you. NordVPN is the most safest, in my opinion, at this current time. So it's worth investing in that to use, even if, like, for example, using it in free Wi-Fi places where you have free Wi-Fi, switching your VPN on first and then joining is a lot more better for you than joining just casually.
So that thing you mentioned of somebody in the airport Wi-Fi scamming you, if you use the VPN, wouldn't you still get... Would that still...
So and so, but the VPN has a bit more filtration systems in there that is able to gauge and tell you that it's not a genuine website. It has security scanners in there that have... each website has to have like certificates to be able to thingy, and cookies also. Cookies has become a thing now where you can accept and reject and have a few things that you have to abide by anyway. So these when you're connecting onto the websites, etc., things like that, they also have to have a certificate, and they don't, and it'll tell you beforehand. It'll tell you beforehand and keep you secure.
Yeah. So show us some of these props that you brought. What are these about?
What do you want to know? I've bought two along with me. I've bought a Flipper Go Zero, which you've probably seen these on the internet. Have you ever seen anything like this?
No. It looks like a meat thermometer, just with the thing
Tamagotchi.
for my steak.
This is my Wi-Fi dev board. Let me put this on.
Okay, now we're getting serious.
See a circuit board.
Let's move these stuff
Props
out
out
of
the way. So, looks like a dolphin that's DJing, yeah?
Okay.
So, let's do...
I set a camera up there so you can just...
Which camera?
Just point
Okay,
at
no
that,
problem.
this one.
So, what I'm going to do is... ESP. Okay, so we were discussing Wi-Fi. Can you just... I don't know, Saad, can you check on the Wi-Fi what Wi-Fi is available right now?
Yeah, sure. So I've got
Got Virgin Media and
yeah.
FBI surveillance van.
Okay, 1 second.
Shed TV.
Shed TV.
I've got that. Got a bunch of
I'm
direct.
Okay, if you just give me...
Plus Snap. Not sponsored by any of these, by the way.
Right, here we go. This is perfect. Right, so this little device. So there's nothing on there. You're gonna get another one that's gonna come on shortly now. Okay, so if you check your Wi-Fi now, there should be a Wi-Fi name called Islam21C.
Me?
Yeah, should be able to connect to Islam21C.
Islam_21C.
Yeah, do you see that?
Yeah.
You're gonna put that on the camera.
Wow. There you go.
I've just created a Wi-Fi portal, yeah? So you can enter You can enter your username and details. It's just for testing purposes anyway. So don't enter enter your password.
I've connected to it.
This is ethical hacking.
So I see a portal.
Okay.
Like this, basically. I don't know if the camera can see that.
Yeah.
My old Chinese OnePlus phone.
Oh, there's a camera behind you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
captive
Wi-Fi. It's
Wi-Fi.
like a sign-in portal with an email and password.
So if you put your
This
username,
is a training demo. Do not enter real info.
yeah. So I've literally just done this whilst
So
sitting
Bismillah with a 1 instead of an I. Okay.
Put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Click enter.
And then test. There you go. It says you've been hacked. I've been hacked.
This is exactly why you shouldn't put your password in.
There's a fire logo, so you know it's serious. Fire emoji, sorry.
Wow, man. So you can call that whatever you want.
Yes.
You can make
I can make it look like a Google page, a Yahoo page.
Yeah. So I mean, if he was outside Islam 21 CHQ.
So it's not working for me.
What's it saying?
Is that because I have an extra level of security on my phone?
It's a testing Wi-Fi portal. So it's designed to capture your details. But again, when you input anything, you get a pop-up that says you've been hacked.
Okay.
This is exactly why you shouldn't input your details. You should check. Now, if you had a VPN, it would have told you that
this ain't a real website, bro.
Yeah. And on top of that, like you're most likely to find these websites that get you to confirm your details that's offering free Wi-Fi. So again, you're in need of something. Hackers are aware of this. Scammers are aware of this. So they will fill that need by providing their own. Like I've created this right here, right now. I was able to give it a name, Islam21C. So if I'm in the airport, Terminal 1 in Manchester Airport, Terminal 1 free Wi-Fi, I'll mimic the exact name. There'll be 20 of them there. Yeah. You might pick the wrong one. Click on it, you've entered your details, and I've gone.
So where might one buy one of those?
I should answer those. Bleep the name when he said it.
So
Islam21c.com.
So I can't really tell you where to get it from because I use this for ethical purposes. But it's not only that.
Alibaba.
It's not only that. This is for me, in my opinion, the Swiss Army knife equivalent when it comes to cybersecurity. Okay. I'm not sure if the camera can see this. It says 125 kilohertz RFID, which is basically, you know how you have your cards to go into buildings, in and out of buildings?
Yeah.
I'm able to copy that signal and then use this device to go in. I'm going to show you something else. Like here it says NFC. Yeah. I'm going to click on it. My phone is off. It's on lock mode. Yeah. And I'm just going to click read, and there you go. And now, if you can see, you can confirm it says read. Yeah. There you go. And I'll click more, save, and my details are there. My expiry date, my banking card, and what do you see here? And just show the camera
So you got your.
Well, that's a debit card tied to a Google Wallet.
It's a debit card tied to my Google Wallet.
Wow.
It was locked. I've not unlocked it or anything. And I was able to capture that detail. And what I would do is I'd go home, I'd use a particular tool that I have, and I'd basically rehash that, and I'd get all your details that the Google Wallet stores. And you saw my phone was locked, not unlocked.
But I have an iPhone.
We could try it on your iPhone.
Okay, go on. So the iPhone is locked now.
Okay. Bismillah. Locked, yeah?
Yep.
I'm not familiar with it.
There you go, ladies and gents. Islam21c, we're all about cybersecurity. He's not able to penetrate my phone.
Alhamdulillah.
This is a live penetration test.
It might be through the case as well.
It might be through the case, yeah.
Okay.
So, again.
That's another sponsor for the potential sponsor for this.
So I have sub-gigahertz, which is car signals, gates. I have infrared.
So my wife bought this little box with like a Faraday cage box to put our car keys
yeah,
in.
that's really good.
Is
very
that
good?
Yeah,
I was like, this. You bought this box for £25 or something. I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell?
It's worth
Yeah.
spending.
So there
Well,
are people who can go around and just detect
so
your
there's actually
car
I forget
keys.
what the YouTuber's called, but he does a lot of like flipping car type videos. I think he buys a lot of luxury cars and this type of thing.
Okay.
So he actually did a series on he did like 2 or 3 videos on these gangs, how they operate in fraud contexts, and he actually spoke to one of these guys that are part of the gang. And he showed him even like the garages where they keep the cars and how they do it. And a lot of the gangs, because they make a lot of money from doing this, they have high-tech equipment. One of the equipment they have is like a relay catcher. So they'll go around nighttime, 3 or 4 a.m. People, the people's house might be asleep, and go near the door, back door, kitchen, etc., front door, where generally people have their car keys hung up near the door or in their kitchen drawer, etc. And they'll try and catch the signal from the. It basically does what that does, but on a bigger level, catching bigger signal. So it'll catch the key signal. They'll trip it through because a lot of these cars have the auto start thing, right? Where you don't have to turn the key, you just press the button, like the Priuses or whatever. And then they'll just go with the car like that. Especially if there's no bollards, they can't. They'll just go. There's no way of stopping them. So people might be thinking, okay, yeah, he needs my phone. My phone to do that. But then there'll be people that will, in a high traffic area, let's say Christmas markets in the middle of,
bump into you.
They'll come by you and they'll
look
swipe
at the London Underground. It's packed. All it takes is one guy with one of these in his hand or in a covertly positioned equipment that he's wearing in his hand.
Bump into you and
it's just bumping into you. Where do people keep the wallets? Back pocket, handbags, etc. It doesn't necessarily. I mean, I'm doing it directly on it. You can have attachments on it to make the reach a bit more further in terms of wireless. So capturing it.
Going back to the point, that's why a Faraday cage is so important, or Faraday bag. Is essentially just a massive metal piece of kit which blocks all signals. So have that in the. You can get RFID phone cases nowadays. So if you have your phone,
getting that, and I would go as far as, look, we've all switched our NFC on because of convenience to pay by our phone, etc.
Okay.
I'd switch
so that's
off
what
after
Apple Pay and Google Pay and stuff.
Yes, switch off your NFC. That way, that signal is never being sent out. So whenever you want to pay, just scroll down, switch your NFC on. Even your Bluetooth, you can switch your Bluetooth off. If you're not using it, switch off your Bluetooth, because it's another wavelength for hackers to exploit, for scammers to exploit.
Okay, what can you do with someone's Bluetooth?
They can crash your phone. They can crash your phone, and whilst you're thinking, right, why is my phone not working, they could potentially be extracting information from your phone, i.e. like your Google Wallet or any other things that they have access to. Believe it or not, with this Glow Flipper, if I was to connect this to a PDQ machine, there's software out there that I can take every single card that's ever been swiped in that PDQ machine.
Wow.
I'll have all them details.
A PDQ machine is just
the card payment system.
Payment system, yeah. And some people might be thinking, right, this information isn't really useful to someone because banks have their own fraud checks and you can't just maliciously use it. But again, it's not necessarily just because you've not lost money. You're not at a loss. You're still at a loss. Those details have been sold onto someone now as part of what they call a fool's list or a scam list, where they go around on Telegram basically sharing these lists, these scam networks. And the thing is, you have to remember these people are criminals, so they work like criminals, right? They'll have a hierarchy. The lowest guys at the bottom, they're the ones collecting all this data off people's computers, cards, maliciously set up websites, whatever else they've got going on. They're collecting 1,000, 10,000, 20,000, right? They'll sell it to some Russian guy on Telegram on the dark web for $10, $15. They've made their lot. Russian guy will now send out these details to a bunch of people trying to exploit them. Yeah. And they'll be like, look, I've got your password, I've got your bank details, I know your social security number for those people that are in America, or I know your NI number, I know your bank account number, right? For those in the UK. And then they'll make their money back by people paying them 100, 200, 300 pounds because they think the scam is legit or they think the fraud is legit. So that's how the circle goes around. It goes from the bottom all the way to the top, and these people are making the most amount of money.
They can even use your details to create another person in a completely different country.
Yeah.
And for example, you might go on holiday to Australia, then you find yourself being arrested because you owe the government £1 million because someone 2 years ago decided to spend an awful amount of time creating a profile for you over a 5-year period with your details, and then scamming the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the people, this is it. Scammers have all the time in the world.
I think it's important to introduce some sort of, you know.
So it's go on.
I was just going to say the Islamic principle of cutting off at the root, right? Where you don't let the problem compound over a long time. Rather, you're like, okay, well, I've heard all this information. To cut all of it out, I'm going to do very simple steps, which is
live in a cave and not
live in a
have
cave,
internet.
get rid of your phone, burn it to the ground, chuck it into a microwave.
Use messenger pigeon.
But have a VPN. Don't put your personal data online. We were going back to the activism topic.
Well, how can we not put our personal data online, like everywhere?
I'll give you an example. Nearly everyone uses ChatGPT now.
Yeah.
And ChatGPT is not AI. It's a large language model.
Okay.
It's a box with so much vocabulary in it, and it's programmed to give the best output. It's programmed to listen to what you give it, and it thinks this is what you want to the best of its ability with the algorithm that's in place.
Okay.
But it's exactly the same as garbage in, garbage out. Whatever you put inside it, it's that information or some parts of that information is going to be part of another structural sentence or paragraph, and it's going to be sent out somewhere else to another user. So if you're inputting personal details like banking details, banking information, account numbers, sort codes, etc., best believe that is being
okay, so don't give ChatGPT your bank details and stuff.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's
there's always forms like put your date of birth in or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I'm checking in online. On the other day I was checking into a flight and it was like, oh, give me your passport number and your date of birth and all that kind of stuff.
I think
is that what you mean?
Well, not necessarily, because it goes back to the point where you were saying where there's a level of risk acceptance, right? So, for example, if you go to a Premier Inn, you're going to expect them for some sort of ID, some sort of personal name, some sort of personal details so they can confirm your booking. That makes sense. You go to a foreign hotel, they might want your passport, for example, right? That is a level of risk you're accepting, that I'm giving this person my information because I trust this company. I mean, you've done the research, Premier Inn, relatively reliable company, etc.
They got Lenny Henry as, you know.
So you've accepted that risk, right? What I mean is, don't give yourself the opportunity don't give them the opportunity to just take whatever they want whenever they want. So, for example, a lot of people, youngsters often do this, me myself being one, is on Twitter, for example, on their bio, they'll have their date of birth. So it'd be like, for example, they won't put the full date of birth, they put like, hashtag 03 or hashtag 97 or hashtag 96, right? Okay, now I know you're approximately this amount of years old, right? And I can start putting pieces of the puzzle together, right?
Start searching things.
So there's a good YouTuber I like on it's called Rainbow, right? His name's actually Rainbow.
Community.
Yeah. No, his name's actually Rainbow. His name's Trevor Rainbow. This is his legal name. Anyway, what he does sometimes as like a challenge is that he'll do what I think Junaid referred to before as OSINT, which is open source research.
I did a little session on this a few years ago.
So it's actually very interesting.
On rainbows.
Yeah. Rainbows.
Open source intelligence.
OSINT,
yeah. So what he'll do is he'll do some very basic searches. So what he likes to do is he likes to ungatekeep stuff. So people will be like, there's this pizza place near me, but I'm not going to tell anyone about it, right? So he'll be like, right, I'm going to tell everyone about it. So he'll go to this guy's Twitter page or wherever it is, X page, and then he'll look through all their posts and he'll be like, okay, this guy was 3 days ago, he was in this part of New York City. And then again, yesterday he was again in that part of New York City. So he probably lives around that part of New York City.
How does he tell?
Well, you can start to guess things.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt Saad here. Saad does a better job than this guy.
Yeah.
We've done a demonstration in the past, and randomly it wasn't me. He was sitting with another friend, and they were contemplating. Right, we've got this presentation to do. I need to give an example, a demonstration about what I can do. He's seen a van go by. He took a picture of the van, just a picture, and through the picture of the van, he was able to find out who the owner is of the company, where the guy lives, what kind of car he drives, how many kids he's got. He's recently been on holiday. I was like, Saad, can you delete my number,
flight
please?
He took an Emirates flight, right? So I know
everything.
That. Likely.
He'll find out everything.
What cars he has, what his reg numbers are, where he lives, as in to actually.
I know. It was your car.
Unfortunately, he had a Ferrari. I don't have a Ferrari. It was like a Porsche or something.
It was a Porsche.
It was a Porsche. Believe you won't believe that 90% of that information I found just from his Facebook account, just by piecing puzzles through his Facebook account, because that's how much he put online. So he was sharing, for example, Facebook, when you put something, tag a location on it, it will say, oh, this person visited this location at this time. And then you might share, for example, transport information with it. So it says he was on this flight, right? And then you can start to piece puzzles together, right? Okay, he has 2 luxury cars, and then around that time, only 2 flights were flying. One was like Air Blue or something, and one was Emirates. The guy I don't think the guy who has luxury cars is going to be flying Air Blue or whatever.
Nice.
So you start to put things together.
Unless he wants to keep you on your toes.
Unless he wants to keep it a secret. So that's what I mean by don't be obviously sharing things that people are going to start putting
be
together.
wary of what you're leaking out there, and just don't kind of volunteer
information. Exactly.
To be honest, if someone took my account details or whatever and took like £5 a day or something, I wouldn't even notice.
Yeah.
People are, maybe people are looking for.
Mashallah.
Maybe people are looking.
Going out your account, mashallah.
I mean, always Amazon and all this kinds of. I don't know, all these like Amazon 75173 number, blah blah blah. There's so much that could be. I mean, people probably looking for that a scam. I'm only scammed when I see like a £10,000 kind of someone try to withdraw. Like I say, I'm being scammed. But I'm assuming that scammers are, able to go fly under the radar. Yeah,
I mean, of course, these scammers are in generally not as well off countries. So £5 to them means a lot of money. So actually, you find a lot of scams are very low value, which is one of the reasons why people don't report, and 2, people don't notice, like you mentioned, because it's such a low value that people just think it inconspicuous and innocuous. Banks often will block repeat payments like that if they notice a pattern. But again, I'm not a financial analyst.
Remember, before you began recording this, remember I asked you, is there a
he's looking at his phone.
Is there a gamer username that you used back in the day or anything like that? And you gave me one,
Yeah.
Are we allowed to?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. Am I allowed to say?
It depends what information you got. If it can find my house or something, then
it begins from here. Like exactly what he just explained. It begins from here. Okay. So I was able to find that you have a Minecraft account with that name, Telegram, YouTube user, X. Is that correct?
No.
So there's someone out there. Okay, so this would be part and parcel of it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, actually, maybe someone has. I mean, my kids play Minecraft, but I don't.
Unless you've registered the username as exactly what you've given me. I'm just to
that
confirm.
was just on. That was just on. That was just on. He just showed something to Saad. That's his address.
So what I would do. So for example, there's 23 billion.
3 days time, you'll be.
There's 23 billion user account information available on the darknet, and you can easily check if your emails have ever been compromised. You can go to.
Sometimes I get messages. My iPhone tells me, don't use this password. It was part of a leak.
Okay,
I'm like, I'm gonna hurry, get this window out of my way.
Now we're on the topic. Let's be honest. Yeah. Now let's go. As strict as we should be, do you use the same password? Do you use the same password for more than one account? so that's the whole point.
That was a cricket sound.
So imagine
100%. But I use the extra level of cryptography, security, where I use a 1 instead of an I.
Listen, that's fine.
In the word Bismillah.
This is what we would be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Your I's, your L's, your S's. People change the S's for the $sign. Your I's people change for the exclamation mark. Your A's for the @ sign.
4.
And the 4. And the 4.
Yeah.
7 for T is what they do.
No, I've never done that. That's why you're the professional.
Look, if a password breach happened or a data breach happened, and they got access to an email address with that password, they would try that password on so many websites with your email address. And these websites may not require 2-factor authentication. like in Google, when you log in from a different device, a different computer, it will send you a verification request.
Like
However,
a text to your phone.
yeah, anything like
And
that.
then some guy from India says, "Hi, can you just give me the number on your?"
No, but
that will be
no,
sent to your phone?"
not necessarily. What they would do is they'd go to a website that doesn't use two-factor authentication, because there's a very chance that when you log into Asda, do they send you a text message? If you have online shopping, if you go into an online retailer,
Well, Waitrose doesn't.
well, there you go. So imagine I tried your username and password on that, and I gained access to it. Then I go to account information. Now I've got your name. Now I've got your address. So now I've escalated in
So
terms.
that's in terms of a practical thing. Yeah, practical advice, mitigating risk. Have different passwords.
Different passwords.
So Bismillah 1, Bismillah 2, Bismillah 3.
786, 787,
Technically, have passwords which have minimum 12 characters.
Okay.
Anything
Exactly,
below
it takes
12
like
is
a
very
million
easy to
years
crack.
to-
So we have this thing, it's called brute forcing. And anything below 12 characters can take up to a number of hours to crack.
So
Anything
just do
above 12.
13 Zs. That's the
Well,
last thing they'll
that'll be very easy.
I think it's also about prioritizing, because a lot of people when they hear this information, they might get overloaded, and you're like, right, now I have to I have 50 accounts, for example. I need to change my password to every single one. It might be, and often it is the case, that you're using what we call single sign-on, which is essentially using one account to sign on to multiple different accounts. So, for example, you sign into Amazon maybe with your Apple or something like that, or you sign into another service, Netflix, with your Facebook. So you'll have generally.
Can you do that?
Yeah, you can switch. So some services, like even payment services like
So
Stripe.
Facebook lets you sign into Netflix.
Well, no, I don't know, man. I don't use my Netflix myself specifically, but a lot of these
Mashallah,
services.
pious.
I use Amazon Prime Videos.
You're just using his account.
Yes.
Right?
So a lot of these accounts
Mine's Turkish.
will let you sign in like that. So for example, now all you need to do is really secure your Apple account or your Facebook account.
Do you mean like a password manager?
Exactly. Well, a password manager, or even having a strong password to that one thing, because you use it everywhere else.
And you recommend that?
Exactly. Yeah. And because if they get access to, for example, if you try this, and I've tried it myself, if you try and sign into that service without signing into the service you used to sign into. So for example, let's say, I don't know if it actually does, but let's say Netflix uses your Apple account, for example. If I try and sign to Netflix with a normal username and password or email and password, I won't be able to get in. Netflix will tell me you have no registered email with us, right? Actually, it will tell me that, because what Netflix sees is it sees basically a token or some sort of data that's been passed by Apple, says this person is authorized to use this Netflix account if they have the Apple account signed in. If not, this person does not exist, pretty much, right? So that's actually a good security feature, because it means that your account data is not getting duplicated on Netflix side. However, it's a point of vulnerability, because now if someone gets access to your network Apple account, then they can get access to every single lesson as well.
Everything else that you have
Everything
access
else.
Or your laptop account?
Exactly.
Or your physical laptop?
Physical
'cause
laptop, your
my
wallet,
MacBook,
your
it asks for my MacBook password.
yeah.
And then it's like, do you want to fill in this? You want
Yeah.
us to fill in this password for you for everything else?
Exactly.
That's
yeah.
what you mean by
and
single sign-on.
and the system is made like that for convenience sake. So they call it an ecosystem for a reason, right?
Yeah.
The Apple ecosystem, Samsung ecosystem, the Google ecosystem, right? So all of that is for convenience sake, but convenience can also be a privacy concern. However, it makes it easier if you do want to, again, cut it at the root. You just have to secure that one account. Email accounts, phone numbers generally, and I mean these two things generally, I would say secure them as much as you can possible.
Phone numbers especially.
Yeah.
With the rise of voice IPs, like you said, you're getting phone calls and everything. I've been getting phone calls which they use legitimate phone numbers from the UK. So I've had phone calls, they've not said anything, they've hung up, I've called the number back, someone's picked up, and I said, did you just ring me? No, I've been sleeping and blah, 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 blah. I go, well, you just rang me. He goes, no, I haven't. I go, you just rang me. I sent them a screenshot that they've called me and said, I swear to God, I've not called you.
Yeah.
So that they're able to hijack people's
Someone else's phone number.
And they make it a virtual phone number, basically.
And actually, a lot of these scams nowadays, they use 07 numbers. So because people generally
I just block them once I get
Yeah.
them, but does that mean I'm blocking some random person that might have
Potentially
Yeah.
also, yeah. Potentially also.
But the thing is, once you pick it up, you're on a list now where they'll just keep calling you again and again. I had this recently. There's ways to get around it. One way potentially, I don't really work with 07 numbers. As far as I'm aware, it works with more public numbers. But you can actually report online.
Yeah.
I don't want to be called by this number. I don't know what service it is, but it's a public service. And what they do is basically put you on a block list and send that around. I'm pretty sure it's a public, like a government service. So they send it around to every single company saying, you're not allowed to call this number whatsoever.
Which every single company would you mean?
As in companies
All
that
the
are
scammers.
So
that's very kind of them.
no, because
Unfortunately,
oftentimes
I don't think it'll reach that far as India.
well, it probably won't. It'll probably be UK businesses only. But at the very least, you'll stop getting scam calls from UK businesses.
Gupta will still be
right?
calling you.
Yeah, yeah.
Are you sure it's not because one time many years ago you said to someone, if you like me, 079 me?
BBM. Use BBM instead.
You know, I in situations like that when they do call, I mean, if I have time, Samsung has this auto translate feature.
All right.
So I just switch that on and I put it in German or Japanese.
Well, you might do.
But the problem is, I don't know if it's a real person.
Yeah. So I have. Well, I mean, you can go this far if you really want, but I have a separate SIM.
Someone, I was going to ask you, Doc, sorry, do you have a very old email address that you would have used back in the day that you're probably not using now?
Ladiesman786.
Are you sure?
No, I'm joking.
Go on. Tell me.
Cool dude, don't judge me. This is like the first email address I was 10 years old. Cool dude,
Yeah.
_1ES at yahoo.com.
1ES.
For sugar. At yahoo.com.
Les.
So 1 second. Yahoo.com. Is that correct? Yeah, have I spelled that right?
Yeah, but now I see it written, it looks really stupid.
Cool dude, yeah. Right, let's have a look. I'm going to do a quick search on this. If it
I
has
don't even
ever
have
been,
access to it anymore.
it's fine. If this,
That's a
if
good
this,
thing.
if this,
Some guy in Calcutta.
has ever-
Nigeria.
if this
Middle of
username
China
has,
or
if this
Nigeria.
email has ever been breached, it should come up with something that. Oh wow! Never had a data breach on it.
It's
Yes.
secure.
Alhamdulillah.
Should start using it again.
I don't think you're
No, it's good.
devil's
He's obviously.
So his Apple iPhone is secure against
Yeah,
your
bro.
card reader. His old email that he first set when he was like 12.
Yeah, bro.
He might have an RFID case on.
Oh yeah.
It's not
Alhamdulillah.
even a case, it's a skin.
This kid,
It's a D-brand skin.
D-Brad skin, shout out to you.
I'm gonna put one of mine in
Okay.
that I used back in the day. Don't laugh.
I'll use my old
mine
university
says
one.
mine says first used November 1st, 2012. Last seen 2016. Data breaches 5, and I was shocked. Believe it or not, you see where it says password here, the bottom one.
Yep.
That was actually a genuine password that I used back in the day.
Wow.
The genuine password that I used.
And they got your password.
Yeah.
Wow, mashallah.
So a lot
So-
of people are probably still
But-
using a password like that
Can I tell you something else?
from years ago.
You know these passwords that are here that says Spacegate 1986?
Yeah.
Those were not my passwords. That would have been a password that someone else had access to my previous email address. Maybe gained access to an online account into something. Changed the password to that. They've done it to 3
Got
different.
Turkish Netflix.
They've done it to 3 different accounts, so you know it's
Hey,
one
wallah.
person. Yeah. It's one person, access to 3 different accounts using the same password. But maybe I can go retrieve that now because I have that password. But they probably stopped because I was too young. There's nothing for me to benefit from or take from my details.
I want to sort of, continue about a lot of the community now is, of course, general stereotype about Asians, businessmen, right? What type of business we won't get into, but anyway, right? So how now does someone running like a multi-million property business in London or Birmingham or Manchester, or someone who is the CEO of a medical company or wherever else, right? Because businesses vary. How can they ensure they protect themselves as someone who's a CEO, director, CTO, whatever else, CFO, and also the people that work under them?
It's a very good question. I was just expecting that from Doc. It's a very good question. Businesses, employers,
I'll just see myself out.
employers should make sure that their employees should only have access to whatever they need to, nothing more than that. If they do, then they could potentially harm your business. You know, majority of these business, these data breaches, these hacks, and these things that happen from within, from within their own company. Employees just not adhering to safety protocols and policy and procedures. They might leave the desk and not lock their computer, for example. You know, I don't know, passwords. As I said before, these are actual facts. 67% of employees have admitted in the last year that their password is the word password. Like, why?
Why are you telling all the scammers out there?
But, you know, I think there's 13% of them don't even have the word password. They just hold shift and press the asterisk 8 times. The other one is QWERTY 123. You have a QWERTY keyboard. The first word you see is QWERTY. And it's QWERTY 123. Again, it's not.
Change my password.
It's not strong enough. You need to make it stronger. Like
Add
I said,
an exclamation mark.
yeah, you can do.
Or add whatever until it says strong.
Put an exclamation mark in the beginning of the password. Put it at the end. Put a few numbers in there. Put a few symbols in there. The @ sign, the colon, and whatever.
Random words. Just random words.
Yeah, random words. But make sure it's only used for the one specific account, so that you're safe, so that if a data breach does happen, you're limited to that one account. You don't need to go around. Imagine you're using your password for 10 different accounts now, and a data breach has happened.
And oftentimes, if you're within a small company, it will just be that one Microsoft account. Or it will be some local service account that you'll need to use for the most part. If your IT has done the right thing of not giving a certain employee admin access, for example.
Some business person might think, look, I'm not doing nuclear launch codes or anything. I don't need that high level of security. What would you say to them?
You do, because it's up to you. Do you want to deal with a problem after it's occurred, or do you want to prevent that problem with a little bit of an investment?
So what could the problems be for your local, chicken shop or accountancy firm or whatever?
For the accountancy firm, yes, because they deal with customer data, a lot of business data.
Okay, so there's laws and stuff. They might be 100%.
Breaking. They need to apply by the GDPR. Especially, and if they had a data breach, they would need to notify the authorities. I think 72 hours.
Yeah,
and it would be up to, I think, 250,000 if they don't, or 4% of the actual revenue.
Wow.
Like I think it was Facebook who was last year, a couple of months ago.
A lot of the big companies have been fined.
Big companies have been fined. Guess how Facebook was storing your passwords?
Mark Zuckerberg's lunchbox.
You could say that. Microsoft Notepad.
Okay, that sounds not secure.
Not secure at all.
A company that's been around for a very, very long time, 20 years.
Imagine Microsoft has over...
That sounds like it was deliberate.
Yes. Look, you could say so.
Like the US government was like, give us all their passwords. No, we're not going to give you the password. We'll just put it on this note.
Let's go a bit further. You remember the game Angry Birds?
Yeah,
it's a big thing. Yeah, Apple phone came out. Angry Birds was one of the first games to ever come out on Apple. They were retaining everyone's IMEI numbers with the permissions that would be in access. So certain games you have to give permissions to, etc.
So IMEI number gives you what?
So what they were doing was they were claiming that they wanted the game to only be downloaded per phone, and you couldn't share the game. So you could sign in with an Apple account on a different phone and download the game, but they only wanted it to be like one game per device.
Okay.
Evidently, that was their excuse, so that was their reason. A couple of years later, they were providing the US government with all IMEI information, so they had a track of all the people who had the Angry Bird gaming, and they were able to collect information from them because they had their IMEI number. They know where that device was at all times.
Those damn dirty green pigs.
So it's a
There was
sort
a
of
thing about Muslim Pro as well, isn't it?
Sorry?
Oh yeah, there
There's
was
a Muslim
yeah.
Pro thing app.
There was a privacy concern about Muslim Pro. Yeah,
It was selling data to the US military or something.
Wow.
yeah.
Subhanallah.
And the thing is, these are just data brokers in between. So the guys at Muslim Pro may or may not have known.
There wasn't even a Muslim who owns it, apparently.
Is it not?
Some
Okay.
French guy.
Right.
It all comes down to one thing.
Well,
It's all about the money.
Exactly. Well,
That's all it
they
is.
might have not known where that data is going to go, but they'll make money off selling it, to these brokers.
Yeah, they don't care. So
These
it's
brokers
all
are like
about the money.
stockbrokers.
Ah,
It's the
okay.
same type of broker. They'll say, we'll pay you for this amount of data you collect for us and sell to us as part of your app or your service or your website.
It's like you know these apps that come out. I'm going in deep now. I do apologize. Like when you see these apps where they take a picture of you and the AI sort of anticipates what you're going to look like in 40 years.
Yeah.
You know,
pretty
Yeah,
good.
those
it's
type
all
of apps,
gathering
yeah.
information.
Yeah. A lot of sites do
I
it
would
now.
never use that.
Even a lot of news sites do it
Or
now.
what you would have looked like
And
as
it
a
was
baby.
Russia.
Russia was
behind
one
it.
of them. China's another
Yeah.
one. So like you're willingly providing information.
Well, my concern actually is not really the state actors that are maybe not super friendly to the UK, but it's more so about the data going to US companies, because US privacy law is very weak.
Very weak, yeah.
Compared to the UK. In my personal opinion, there's a lot more loopholes that a company has to step through, compliance-wise, in the UK, and to my perspective, it's tougher in terms of how they retain
even
data.
after Brexit.
Well, I'm not compared before and after Brexit, I'll be honest. But just in general, compliance in the US is very sort of, low.
Wild
Very
West.
hip.
Yeah, it's Wild West, right? It's pretty hit and miss. And a lot of companies are just able to do whatever the heck they want and get away with a lot of data breaches. What would we consider data breaches here? The reason why I illustrate this is because you go to a UK news site, for example, right? Like the Telegraph or the Times or the Guardian or whatever else, and you'll open it up and it will present you with this accept cookie thing, right?
So
Accept
annoying.
every single time. Sometimes you can close out of it. If they're nice enough, they might give you a reject all option, which lets you just get rid of all of it, right? If they're not that nice, what they'll do is they'll keep you on that page until you
Accept
physically
all of it.
accept all. Or you go to the options menu and you untick every single one, and there'll be like 308 or whatever, and you have to untick every single one, and then you'll have to accept. Easy way around that, if you really want to know, is open up a browser that blocks stuff like that. So like Brave browser, for example, will block those pop-ups. So what I often do is if there's a site I really want to go to, I'll put it on Brave. Or this site like 12foot.io, which is basically a proxy site. So you can put the URL through that site and it'll block any pop-ups and paywalls for these sites.
Paywalls as in.
Like you have to pay £5 to access this membership news site, whatever, right? A lot of
Thank God
sites do
5
this.
pillars don't do this.
Five
And
pillars
Islam
don't.
21C.
Yeah, someone who doesn't do this, yeah. So I think that's one way of getting around it. The legality of it, I'm not giving any opinion on, but
Alhamdulillah.
if they do say if buying isn't owning nowadays because of these subscription models,
Look,
then piracy isn't stealing.
I just remembered something. I'm thinking of everyday scenarios where people would actually use the phone and scammers would exploit that. Another one is I don't have my cable with me. I remember you asking me to bring this in. It's currently being in use in test. So basically, I'll send you some videos that maybe you can attach to the end of the podcast.
We'll just use this.
Yes, Bismillah. So,
Is it?
Bismillah. So, exactly. This exactly. It will look like this from end to end. USB-C cable.
Shifty eyes.
But USB-C is
Yeah, it looks like this.
its initial purpose is to transfer data, not to charge. Same with the lightning cable that came out for Apple. The only way you could transfer your music to it was through the lightning cable. So its main purpose, its main function was to transfer data. And then then they made a use out of it to
USB
charge
power
it.
delivery and
Yeah.
everything, yeah.
So inside of this, there'll be a mechanism that has a mini computer in it that will let me connect to it through a Wi-Fi within distance. So I could be in a coffee shop like a Costa, a Cafe Nero, Starbucks, whatever. You could be coming in, your battery's really low. You see someone's left a charger on the wall, you automatically use it to charge. You wouldn't think twice charging.
Yeah, it's just a charger.
Just a charger. And I've deliberately left it there. and I'm sitting in the other end of the room.
Because you're a good Samaritan.
Not with my hoodie on or anything like that. I'm sipping my
with your V for Vendetta
caramel,
mask.
Caramel mocha latte.
caramel and vanilla latte.
With your Guy Fawkes mask.
Yeah, so I'll just be sitting there on my computer with my headphones on, looking like I'm doing some work, a bit of paperwork or whatever, clearly blending in. This is social engineering. And then as soon as you've connected that, it's pinged me that someone's connected, and I've connected onto your phone. And now I can send payloads to it. I can send whatever I want to that phone and start running scripts on it, basically. And that's how it works. It starts from this. Now, I might do it at a Costa where there's a lot of businesses around the area. Businesses that deal with a lot of information, businesses that deal with a lot of money. I wouldn't do it in a Costa that's in the middle of a retail park. Do you get what I mean? But who wouldn't? You don't know. They do it. So it's the same when you might even go into a masjid. Like I said, if people are out there that are stealing Hajj and Umrah money, then what's the chances of these guys getting a hold of these few cables, leaving them lying around in the masjid, and you're casually going in there early for Fajr, plugging your phone in, whilst he's in the back in another room with his laptop on and cracking on. Just, spend your money on buying an extra cable. Don't use anyone else's cable. Spend
from
your money,
the manufacturer.
Buy it from the manufacturer.
Even masjid.
Have that. Have that.
Sounds 21C.
Have that. Literally, have that peace of mind, knowing that it's your cable, not somebody else's. You've got to have a zero trust policy. You can't trust anyone.
Would you go so far and say, don't just buy the cable from any random place online as well?
No. Why would you buy it from Amazon or eBay or anything like that? How
And
do you know?
It's safe to buy it on Amazon and eBay.
I personally, no.
Okay.
Personally, no, because they can
So
all.
someone could already have some kind of dodgy cable.
So there's
sell it to
resellers
people.
on these sites, right?
Yes.
Amazon resell. So I recently, I know a family member who bought a laptop. It was a Samsung laptop off Amazon, right? He bought it off Curry's first, right? And then it came with instead of coming a proper laptop charger, it came with a Samsung phone charger, which didn't even charge the laptop properly. So so it had to be returned. Then he ordered it off Amazon, and it came with a Chinese phone charger. So so there's no guarantee that
it's not been
just because it's
tampered with.
Amazon or eBay that it's not going to be.
It's not been tampered with, or it's got another attachment to it, or anything like that. It can be very malicious, and you've paid for that. You've paid to compromise your own business, your own phone, your own data. Just buy it from the manufacturer's website or from the manufacturer's retail store. Pay that little bit of extra price. Yeah, it's a bit of an inconvenience, but you have that peace of mind. You have that peace of mind that you're safe and you're secure.
So, Saad, I wanted to get your views in terms of child safety, in particular online, because I think I'm a bit more careful with my kids and stuff. And I told him, you can have a phone, smartphone, when you're 25 years old, and they appreciate that. My oldest is like 15.
25.
Yeah, that's on average. That's when your prefrontal cortex is developed enough to. So maybe when you have one or two kids, then you can have a smartphone or something.
Yeah.
But they still use laptop or the smart TV or whatever, and online gaming sometimes. So tell us, how do we keep our kids safe online?
Yeah, so number one is...
And what are the most juicy scams out there?
What sort of games are they playing?
Minecraft. Not online though, but...
Fortnite.
I wouldn't... Not Fortnite though. I have a policy, no free games.
Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Because if the game is free...
Then you're broke.
You're the product.
2 weeks. 2 weeks
That's
later,
why kids like me. Some kids dislike me because I say 25-year-old thing.
Yeah.
And the parents don't dislike me as well because I say to their kids, don't play free games.
You seem like you're doing a good job already.
Yeah.
Seriously, you're keeping them offline, which is one of the best things you could ever do. Like Saad always says, you want to nip it right at the bottom.
Yeah.
But because they're homeschooled, they still they do some research online on
for the schooling,
stuff like that. And they're homeschooled. So and I try to, because it's going to be part of life anyway. I'm not trying to make them completely away from the internet, but just kind of in a controlled environment. That's part of my philosophy of like, I don't know if it's
are they any good at
clever
FIFA?
or not. Part of the philosophy of, do dangerous things safely. So you're.
Are they any good at FIFA?
No, I smash them all the time.
Black Ops.
I gave them. I like to think I gave them good tarbiyah, so I made them start on, Pong and Pac-Man.
And
Currently, they're playing N64 games online. Switch 2.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, I just introduced him to GoldenEye like literally a week ago.
What about Star
2 weeks
Fox?
ago. No, not
This is too old.
Star Fox N64.
The first console I had was PS1. I wasn't privileged enough to
I
have
didn't have a console. One guy on the street had a console, and we all were at his house every day. He had a Mega Drive.
Commodore 64.
Look, touching on your topic and how you're raising your kids, alhamdulillah, I think that's a very practical step you've taken, and given the parameters that you've put down for them is very good. However, let's be honest, vast majority of parents out there in the Asian community, in the Muslim community,
don't love their children.
You can tell who's being brought up. I have a saying. You can tell who's being brought up and who's being dragged up. And that's I do this. I used to do this. My kids are homeschooled too. I used to do this when I used to go pick up my kids from school. I used to observe which parents on the phone and just casually picking the kid up and just walking away. Like they could be picking up someone else's kid and not knowing whatsoever, and just casually walking off. And like it happens too much. I'm not
They're
judging
taking them into some random van, then you need to
says free candy on the outside of it.
But yeah, look, the majority of the parents out there do give their children free apps. Maybe they're not financially able to purchase certain games, etc., on a monthly basis, or subscribe to certain games as they've made it so. But games that are prolific, such as Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, what else is there that these kids are like glued to? FIFA's another one, isn't it?
Yeah.
But Pokemon, I'd say somewhat in some level. It depends on it. But Saad, go on, elaborate on this one a bit further, because that's your forte, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, the most obvious is actually just paying attention to what they're doing. A lot of parents are quite oblivious. And of course, it's more of a tool of, either kids crying or kids annoyed, or I have things to do, so I'm just going to let them do whatever they want. And of course, parents should be able to develop their own level of caution about these things, to whatever extent they're comfortable developing it. I know some parents don't want to have a too strong grip on their kids lest they become, sort of more rebellious. And it all depends on the sort of the dynamic you have with the kids anyway. I know some are very lenient for that same reason. Some of the friends I was growing up with, they were allowed to sort of do whatever they wanted online because, they not that they would rebel against their parents, but just because their parents trusted them to do that. So I think it's just about how, one is the tarbiyah you mentioned, how you've actually raised your child from an Islamic perspective. And can you trust them to do the right thing online if they see something naughty online, or if they see something bad, especially with younger kids? Can you trust them to report that back to you? And in addition to that, can you trust them to not go on the things that you've said you shouldn't be going on? So accessing apps and games that you said you shouldn't be accessing, even if they are installed, or services that you might have for your own use, but they're not allowed to go on.
And you don't want to mess up your stats,
yeah, your play account, your KDR. So I think that's one thing, just being in control of generally what they're doing and how they're doing it. Even if that means, occasionally checking the browsing history and seeing what they've been on recently, right? So stuff like that, just being aware. The other thing is not just being aware of what they're using, but who they're also talking to. Because a lot of these services, there's open chat, right? So with Roblox, for example, when you join a server, there's open chat. With Minecraft, there's open chat when you join a Minecraft lobby or a server. So again, who's on that chat? Who are you talking to? How are they talking, right? If everyone's talking about, let's say you just hover over your child's shoulder and, some guys in Roblox are talking about something a bit not appropriate, and that's something you need to tell your child about. Look, this is not appropriate for you to play, or get off it now, or whatever else. But if it's just about the game itself, then
I'm just going to interject. Sorry, I've seen on YouTube on the reels, the shorts. A black mother in America, single mother, 9-year-old kid's been playing Roblox, and a dude's just turned up.
This happened recently.
Just turned up to his house.
What the hell?
Yeah, turned up to the house, and the woman's like, "Hang on a minute, how did you know my address? How do you know my son?" And she's proper baffled about why is this guy at my house, and he wants to come in. He wants to come into the house
because he identifies as a 10-year-old.
I don't know. Maybe he heard. The mother's a single parent and is firing his shot. But at the same time, this is a grown man playing with a 9-year-old child on Roblox and gathering information under the guise of social engineering. Maybe he doesn't know he's doing that, but that is social engineering. He's basically he's basically been able to gather a number of information and use that at will to go to wherever that child is.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course it's not the child's fault, and in this case, completely the parents' fault. They were oblivious to what the child is even doing. The children have no filter naturally, when especially in that sort of context, right?
On the point of gaming, I'm always giving props and respect to Yusha Evans and his team, his family, for the Muslim Gamer League, where Muslims can, kids can kind of join servers together and play online games together, but in a good environment where there's, some reminders or some dawah happening, or at least, that they're not going to be kind of inappropriate kind of stuff behavior, online. So you're on a list, and so in terms of kids staying safe online.
Yeah, so I think one aspect of, like I mentioned previously, is parents keeping a track of what they're doing online, who they're talking to online. Like Junaid mentioned that story of the random guy coming up to someone's door. Kids don't have that filter, so naturally you need to be the filter for them. A lot of devices now have access control built in. So Windows has family friendly stuff that you can enable, certain guest accounts, kids accounts. You can do it on streaming services, Netflix, etc. Of course, to an extent you're trusting that service to follow their definition of what is kid safe. So they might have certain movies on there that are that they think is kid safe, but you wouldn't let fly. So what I'm trying to say, it doesn't remove the responsibility.
I feel like saying something here that's going to get me shot down for it, but parents are to blame also.
Yeah, of course.
Parents are buying their kids 18 plus games like Grand Theft Auto 5, for example. It's an adult game. It's got adult genre in there, adult themes in there, adult things in there. And so it's practically everything what a child would want to do if they've been exploited into that playground scenario where they have access to all these things that they wouldn't do in a real-time scenario, but they're doing it through the game. And that has only been apparent because the parent has provided that for them. Yeah,
I mean, I think at this point now it comes to a standard where if we're assuming parents are of the age of the 20s, 30s, where it's likely you will have young kids, let's say, more likely. I think, in my personal opinion, you are of the age now where you also grew up with the internet. You understand the harms of it. You understand what benefit it brings. You also understand, realistically, I was playing, Call of Duty when I was, 10 or 9 or whatever. I was playing my mates. We were playing.
My internet kept cutting off when I was growing up, and trust me.
Well, so it's unrealistic to assume that you're not going to get your kid an 18 plus game. They probably want it. They'll play it. It's about the context they play it in. So I when I was young, I only used to play the single player. I wasn't online.
You didn't have any friends?
I didn't have online.
You walked into that one.
That's one. And also, all my friends were on Xbox, for example. They might be on Xbox, and I don't have Xbox Gold, so I can't play online. So that's a level of restriction you can employ on your child now and say, look, okay, you want this game, you'll only be able to play the single player. You can't play the multiplayer, right? Or if you play the multiplayer, then you're only allowed on it for 30 spend time with them instead.
Dr. Salman's kids can relate to you now.
Yeah. A lot of services are free now as well. That's another thing. Yes. So with the free games, the servers are free to access, etc. Money can be an issue because people spend money on microtransactions, etc. So these are some basic steps you can undertake. I think the one of the main ones I like. So one of the main concepts I want to focus on as well potentially is the concept of kids not necessarily going to gaming online, but more so of the social media apps and the use of social media apps. So of course, there's a whole separate discussion, I guess, about social media addiction, time spent online, even just amongst adults, not necessarily kids. But kids, it's worse because their brains are being wired into that.
It's eating away the dopamine.
Exactly,
isn't it?
right. What they call nowadays brain rot is literally brain rot.
Yeah.
So that's a separate discussion. But going on to the topic of sort of in my background in cybercrime, relating that to crime committed online, kids can go one of two ways. Either they will learn to commit the crime themselves intentionally, or they will commit the crime accidentally. So basically it's either with or without intention. And the without intention is more severe accident, I think, personally, because more kids get roped up in it. Some kids will have a level of moral character where they're like, okay, if I'm, they'll have a block to doing something online intentionally, right? Of course, they're not gonna. Maybe they might find it funny to kick their, mate off the internet using a booter tool, what they call a DDoS tool or whatever. But they might understand that that's probably wrong to do. I shouldn't do that to my mate. Some kids may. A lot of kids might get accidentally involved into it though. So that's the sort of area I want to focus on. And the way that happens is basically social engineering, which is what Junaid talked about before, but instead of it happening to adults, it's happening to kids instead. So they'll be like,
there's adults and kids, but the recipients, the not the recipients, the people being exploited is children, young teenagers.
Exactly. So they're looking for a certain lifestyle, right? So they get baited into that lifestyle, and they get baited into a certain way of talking about it.
So the lifestyle is in LV bags,
or
Gucci trainers,
exactly.
All the designer stuff,
influencer type lifestyle. Different demographics of kids will get baited in different ways. Younger kids might get baited into sharing things online, potentially intimate images of themselves, right? As a result of someone really becoming a good friend. A lot of the time, younger kids just want that really good friend online. I have a friend online, I play with him, whatever, right? He tells me to do this, I just do it, right? They don't really have that filter. Older kids might be similar to what Junaid's saying, which is they want that connection, right? They want that to be valued, to be respected, to have a responsibility, to be acknowledged, to have a role in society. So when some guy tells you, you can actually make 200 quid a week, and you'll suddenly be the most popular guy in school. You'll be able to get that moped at 16. You'll be riding around on the motorbikes, whatever. Do you know what I mean? They're selling this idea that you can sort of live life the way you want to live it on your terms. So this is where it starts to come in. A common trope is money muling. So what kids will be baited into doing, and there's a video of this online, I think by Vice, where Vice UK.
We should submit these links to.
I
think it'll be helpful.
So what they basically did is there was this sort of adult sort of roadman type guy, and he was journalist for Vice, and so he went amongst the sort of local youth gangs, you could say, and he just was asking about money muling and how it works. So he himself, as a test, did it where he just set up a new Snapchat account, and what he tried to do was just basically search for random
usernames.
Random usernames that were coming up as like suggestions for a new Snapchat account generally. So a lot of the ones you get are like free cash, get cash quick, quick time.
Seriously.
Yeah. So it's
suggested very like
Snapchat. So suggested by either Snapchat or just because of the locality and what's going on around his area, snap maps, this type of thing, right?
It's also because they're very active.
They're very active. So they post constantly every day.
The algorithm doesn't know what their account is doing or what it's getting up to. The algorithm's purpose,
and it's basically on the area, the local again.
In the locality. Sorry to interrupt you. The algorithm is just trained to provide information on those who post a lot. Like if I'm on Facebook now, and you two are my friends, we started a brand new Facebook. You two are my friends, and you keep posting, and he posts once a week. I'll see more of your posts than yours. Because you're posting more. So same with these Snapchats, because these kids are active, these scammers are active, and they're constantly communicating.
Okay, so they're accounts.
So these accounts are more related to, for example, telling kids how they can quickly make cash, or what they'll do is they'll say, okay, you do this one task for me, I'll get you a cut, and you'll get 100 maybe or 200 by the end of the week, right? Or they might actually use their personal information for their own nefarious purposes. So they might say, for example, listen, in the next week, you're going to get £2,000 in your account. Don't ask me about it. You don't need to know, right? You'll keep 500 from it. The remaining 1,500, I want you to transfer this in the next account.
The nasty side of it is they'll take the card off the child. They'll meet the child. They'll take the card off them. So the bank card, the debit card, or whatever it is, money will go in, and then now that they know who this child is, they potentially know where the child lives, who the family is, etc. So that becomes one aspect of to be able to blackmail the child to get him to coerce him to do more in the future. So that £2,000 goes in, the child goes and withdraws that cash. And then the more amount, more will go in, more will go in, more will go in.
And then they're blackmailed with certain items, certain things. So they might, for example, after a while of giving these kids cash or items they really enjoy, so for example a LV bag or some sort of luxury designer thing, after 6 months to a year they might be, look, I've given you all this and now you're trying to back out. That's not how we do things. If you try and back out, we'll do this and this to your family. So then it becomes an actual criminal, what they call a what's the Oliver Twist character, Fagin type character, right? And of course, officially by legal standards, this is what they call child criminal exploitation, CCE, and also coercive and controlling behavior, right? So that is very common amongst low sort of deprived areas. It can happen a lot, but even in most more gentrified areas, it can also happen. It's a different way. It might be more sort of slinging high type drugs as opposed to low level crime. Even look, even that, but even our young sisters are being exploited. Our young sisters, because some of them may go to an all-girls school, etc., things like that, and parents aren't in touch with how the emotional and hormone development is progressing and how to tackle that. It's such a taboo thing in our community and culture to discuss certain matters of growing up as a father to the son, as a mother to the daughter. Maybe, I don't know, but I know from the first generation of our parents coming here, etc., it was never, we learned all of this from school, openly. But again, this is something, we need to create some autonomy. There needs to be some discourse around this and how to communicate with our children and create a platform to be comfortable to talk about these things. Because they'll be speaking to someone else. So why I touch upon these girls is that there's been a number of cases in our area and the wider area in the city, is that young girls have been going into relationships, and obviously the hormones are on an exponential high. Guys have been texting, and even their hormones are high, and they're exchanging images of themselves topless and taking videos, etc., and things like that. And then then when the relationship breaks down, or the guy has bad intentions, they want to print it, they want to provide it to the family members, blackmail. Now they want money from you. Now and this is how girls get duped into it. Or even that, it even goes into an aspect of grooming. Goes into an aspect of grooming, and you won't be aware that your child is going through all of this because you've not created that bond, you've not created that platform to communicate with them on a level to understand what their needs are. I think, of course, part of it is parenting, but from a technical perspective, which is what we're,
it's all about the money, because they want that money.
Well, I was going to say it's more about the control mechanism you're putting in place from a technical perspective. Of course, parenting is parenting. Parents do whatever the heck they want in terms of how they parent. But the technical mechanisms are there for you to control your kid, even in terms of putting app restrictions. So, for example, if they do go on Snapchat, it's only 30 minutes a day, for example. You have these app timers on your phone now where it will lock you out. The operating system itself will lock you out of your phone because it says you use this app too much. So doing stuff like that, I was traveling with someone recently, and he has a 12-year-old, and he has a I think you can do this on iPads with
Don't tell Dr. Saman his kids are going to get
it's an access control.
Time restrictions now on gaming.
Where his iPad has like a time
They're
restriction.
going to lock me out of it.
It has like a time lock on it, basically, right? On each app, and then once that runs out, basically you can't unlock it unless it's authorized by the controlling account. So by the parent or the guardian, basically, they have to authorize, okay, you can use an hour more of this app.
Is that password based or?
That is, I think, I'm not entirely sure. I don't think it's password, but I think it's more
authorized. Isn't the same then?
No, I think it's authentication based. So it'll be like, for example, the parent will have to approve on the child's request to use that 100%. App. This is all within the Apple ecosystem. So it's not new apps you're installing.
I think Android has it too, or Samsung and the Google Pixel. Yeah,
just to reduce the sort of the mental stress that parents might be thinking, I have to install an app for that on their computer there, on the iPad there, on the phone there. I mean, even if you had to do all of that just to protect your child's safety, I would do, of course, as a parent if I was one. But even abstracting that away, the operating systems themselves let you do it. So you're not really asking for a lot to keep your child safe, really.
I'm going to get you to do like an explainer video, or like, especially how to keep kids safe online, and just maybe talk people through exactly how you can do that. Set it up to that. Will be. We'll look forward to that, inshallah.
Inshallah, yeah.
But I have one last question, which is, what on earth is this thing?
It's an ET call
It's
home.
been looking at me and intimidating me all this time.
Spider. It's a venom bug.
It's my
So am I in
favorite.
trouble if I'm pointing it at me? Or?
It's my favorite device. It's basically, as you
I'm
can
hearing
see,
voices from it.
Is it your loser?
I'm not going to do my Venom accent. It's a device, basically, what I use to monitor network traffic, basically. As we have our computers that are on, all electronic devices have some signal that's being sent out, even Bluetooth, and we call them action packets, APs. So I use a tool in penetration testing. It's called Wireshark. It's literally just to monitor the traffic online and how things happen. Now with this, I can kick. Let's make it for easier terminology for people to understand. So if you're on your Wi-Fi home network now, and all of a sudden your Wi-Fi disconnected, you don't need to go back into your Wi-Fi setting to reconnect to your network. It automatically does that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But what made your Wi-Fi go off? It can be something of out of range or something, or anything like that. With this device, I can kick you off your network. I can kick everything on that Wi-Fi network, kick everything off, and everything will naturally try to reconnect again. But then I'll position myself in the middle. It's called man-in-the-middle attack. And then everything that the devices, the messages that they're sending, i.e. the Wi-Fi password, it would come to me, and then I would send it to the router. And the router would say, oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah, thanks for the password. I'm just going to send you a reconfirmation back. It'll come to me, and then it'll go to the user. So now I have the Wi-Fi password. So now I potentially have a key to access the house, which is obviously used for penetration testing for businesses to see how strong the Wi-Fi network is, Wi-Fi network infrastructure is. And from there, I will try to gain access to a device, a computer, a laptop, or anything, to try and compromise that and to escalate my privileges, so on and so on, to demonstrate how weak your security system is. Again, I use it for an ethical purpose, but there are people out there who can sit outside your house with a laptop and try to harvest some, if they had intention and nefarious intentions to do so, to get something from you. How you can stay safe, again, make sure your Wi-Fi password isn't the generic password that's in there, because that's provided by your network provider. You should be able to go to your IP address, or sometimes the network provider give you apps like Virgin. You can log in through a Virgin app and clearly, very easily, on the user interface, change the password to something of your choosing. So make sure it's 12 characters long. Make sure it has special characters and symbols, etc., so that it can't be cracked or brute forced, as we explained before. That's the best way to stay safe. If it just comes with a generic password, then it is very likely that that password can be cracked because it's not strong enough. It isn't strong enough. It'll either be a bunch of numbers or a bunch of letters mixed up. To you, it may look very secure because it looks like gibberish, but it isn't secure at all.
Okay.
So make sure you change your password and keep it secure.
Junaid Ali 123.
Close to 12, but not enough.
Well, Jazakallah khairan, brothers. Like I said, we're gonna, get you on for some more stuff. Get some specific, more actionable stuff out as well.
Inshallah.
Maybe get you to write a few articles or something.
Inshallah.
Right?
Always write the articles.
Yeah.
Allah.
ChatGPT.
But yeah, really important stuff. I'm always, cautious about kind of upskilling our community to stay safe. So we talked about a lot of practical stuff. So Jazakumullah khairan for your time. And Jazakumullah khairan to you watching at home as well. If you like this podcast, as usual, give it a like and a share. Let us know in the comments below. If you didn't like it, just write your bank account and sort code details in the comment
We'll make
below.
sure to send a pigeon in your bank account.
If you disliked it, then press the thumbs down button twice. That usually works.
Twice.
Until next time, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.